We have a great episode ahead. I'm real excited to let this one go. I learned that today's guest sold his business for $50 million to the global company Sigma Alimentos, which still uses his recipes, and won the 2020 World Championship Cheese Contest with their flagship cotija cheese. This is going to be an exciting show, Miguel. Thanks for taking some time to join That Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Of course. And we have a release happening this week, right? Let's talk about that brand new release.
We have a release of the book. He's very excited. This project took me 3 years to get it launched and to get it ready for it. And I'm very excited. Tomorrow is the launch day and see what happens. I hope so. It's going pretty good. It's getting into the bestsellers and it's going great.
I'm really happy to hear that. I think you've got a lot of expertise, a lot of experience you can add to this book and, of course, add to our show. Everyone tuning in, thanks for taking some time to sit down with us today. I'm excited to put out another video podcast now that YouTube is fully loading on podcasts. And this is the show where I've had the great opportunity to sit down with founders of companies and brands from all around the world each week since back in December 2019. All of that is built up till today, as we now have the Godfather of Mexican Cheese with us. His story is humbly as it could be. Began at a cheese factory in his native Mexico as a teenager. When he was invited to travel to the U.S. as an apprentice, he jumped at this opportunity. He was one of 6 children raised in poverty after the tragic death of his father in an earthquake, but he rose with adversity, and then he arrived in Wisconsin with no money, speaking little English. So if that doesn't motivate you to get out there, put those excuses to the side, I don't know what will, because as an illegal immigrant, he had no choice but to make a cardboard bed on the factory's boiler room floor. He's come all this way now to selling his company for $50 million. You've heard that right. The skyrocketing demand for his cheese led him to establish his own company, which was Mexican Cheese Producers, in 1994. He eventually constructed a state-of-the-art production plant in Wisconsin, a prime location with access to the finest quality milk there is in the country. This was great for his recipes for his cheese, and I'm about to ask him all about what went on behind creating the state-of-the-art plant. But stick around for the spotlight story at the end of the show, as always, except this time, we've got an article from Food Business News titled Lessons from 5 Food Industry Entrepreneurs. A lot of value coming that way, and a lot of value coming to this show today. I'm ready to lock in, but first, I want to show some love to our show sponsor this summer, Cesar Cervantes, TEDx speaking coach. If you're looking to get on the TEDx stage, be sure to head to the show description. Reach out to Cesar. Him and I have been working on it behind the scenes as well, and it's been a great process. But for today, let's stop right here with Miguel. You built this production plant way ahead of its time, Miguel, at the time. Access to the best quality of ingredients, very strategic. Walk us through assembling this plant.
Yeah, the first one is that they want to give me the start for it was to win the contest with the Amish people. I win the contest. I compete with 5 guys, 5 cheesemakers. And I was very happy that the Amish, they don't believe in electricity. And of course, they give me the code sign to start getting my first opportunity. I bought the equipment and I run the equipment, and they build the factory from the ground to zero, and very fast in 2 months. It was incredible how the Amish work together, and they built it in 2 months. The factory. I didn't even get the equipment yet when they was finished it, and.
That's a good problem, though. That's a good problem.
Yes, it is. And the support, that is my first experience to start learning how to put a factory here in the United States. That took me a lot of experience to get. And I met people with Arlington Dairy Supply companies here in Wisconsin. They're really experts and set up all the equipment. They give me the support, and we go in for it. I mean, we kind of like took the niche in the market because the milk they was having is grade A milk, and that one makes the best cotija. It's so similar to the milk in Mexico, This is why I push to make only one product. It was cotija cheese. That gave me the opportunity for me to start getting into the market and see how big the niche of the market was. And then start getting ready for the second factory. Because if the first factory of the Amish, after I win the test and I do everything on it, they only have 100,000 pounds of milk a day and they can use it. They don't want to grow. As soon as I touched the milk, the market, I mean, 100,000 pounds of milk didn't take too long for me to sell it. And I had to start creating another factory. The Amish didn't want to grow. That was my first obstacle for me to start jumping and understand it, how they respect the people because they don't want to grow. They don't want to get bigger. They just, it's people, they just help each other in a different way. But I took the opportunity to see the market and I went and built another factory. I bought an old factory in Wisconsin. One of the oldest plant, it was Kraft plant. And I started making more different products. I started making cotija cheese plus fresh cheese. And that gave me the opportunity to really grow. From that part, I remember I started with the Amish, sell 100,000 pounds of milk. And I was selling 600,000 pounds of milk in the Kraft in Wisconsin by then every day. And pretty soon I feel the capacity again. And then it started growing back again. Big problems that I have it, but I have experience to already build the second facility. And then the third one, it was the biggest one. And that was 150,000 square feet. That can produce up to 3 million pounds of milk a day. And this is how I left it.
That's incredible. Now, how did you go about acquiring these customers, these contacts? You weren't really selling a carton of milk at a time. You were selling big quantities. How did you connect with these people or these companies, I should say?
First of all, I started my market and I was in Ohio with the Amish and my market, it was in Chicago because it's where I have a friend that was Mr. Vega. That was the guy that helped me to buy the first cheese. He got a big distributor. He distributed to all the Mexican stores that I didn't have the capacity to distribute to all the stores. And I married with him. I supplied the most I could, the most cheese that he asked me for. The first time I made one bag and I shipped it, I put it in the truck because I didn't have a cheese truck yet. I have it in my van. And then I went in to sell it. And I was praying the people liked my product. And when they saw the product and they tasted, I was totally excited. They paid me really good, $4.50 a pound. I was the most excited in that moment. And from there, I go back to the Ohio factory and I have a big orders already. I have a semi-load to tell you that. And I start teaching people how to make the cheese, all the Amish and all the people. That way I can start selling. I went out and start selling and that way I can put people any place. Then I put salesmen to help me out and the company started growing.
I love that. You built the team, you started scaling, and that's where a lot of entrepreneurs, it's kind of where I'm at in my journey. Now it's time to build the team. I've been slowly building it over the last 6 months, a year, because you can't do everything on your own. You can't sell. You made a great point there. What, if you don't mind sharing, what is the largest quantity sale you've had under your company?
The sales, and I mean,
I know you produce all of this, tons and tons and tons of cheese. What's the largest single sale you've made quantity wise? To put in perspective for our audience, because for me, you buy some cheese at the grocery store, you're in a whole new level.
Yeah, one of them for me was a technique that Walmart really wanted me to buy everything I produce. And that put me in a scared moment because I don't want to put all the eggs in one basket. See? And then that was one of the first lessons, but it was 6 semis in one shot that he's just start buying me every week.
That's
And that was excited. That was
yes.
excited. And they want me to put it all over the United States. And I told them, no, I can't. I will not do that. I only want them to grow the 10% out of my company. And that was the how I control it. But that was a big, large product.
That's incredible. Congratulations on that. And congratulations on all your success. Now, pivoting to the book. We mentioned it's time. 3 years went into this book. What is the name of the book and what can we expect from this book? Who is your target reader?
The name of the book is The House of the Cheese Built. And
Nice.
the readers is all young people. Then the young people, entrepreneurs that they want to do it, they need to be, for me to them to tell them how they can do it is to be organized themselves and to really be commit to what they want to do. And don't distract to yourself too many things. I mean, one of them is don't be a show off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have to know how to save your money, don't expend your money thinking like you have your business and you already have the American dream come through.
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. You have to fight for it.
Yep.
It has to be well organized. And a lot of people, they get dizzy, you know. As soon as they feel a little bit of money, the first thing they want to do is party, spend it, seriously be show off,
Yeah.
and will turn very arrogant.
Well,
and that doesn't make you anywhere.
I think that separates a lot of people just on character alone. What are you going to choose with that bit of success? Put it back into the business, continue to grow, or as you're saying, and we see it a lot, showing off, no reason. I am very, very impressed with this conversation so far, Miguel. Thanks again for coming on the show. I'd like to ask you something as someone who's really built his company from the ground up. What is a piece of advice you can offer to any maybe newer immigrants who are listening on today? They have big dreams, big ambitions to launch their company. What is some advice you can offer them through your experiences?
Yeah, one of them is to really put your ideas in order and everything is achievable if you well concentrated in that. I mean, sounds like a simple thing, but to make a commitment is to really don't get dizzy. You know, most of the people, they think so they can achieve one way, their own way, and turn kind of a little bit too arrogant. They need to be more open themselves on it and open the ideas. If you are a new person that want to start, don't say like your word is the perfect one. You know, is you have to be able to listen and find solutions to the same problem, at least 3 different solutions. That way it doesn't come from your guts and explode right away and blow it all, you know?
Great advice there. Multiple perspectives, taking in multiple inputs. And we can't, again, it goes back to that great Walmart example. You can't put your eggs in one basket physically or with individuals. One piece of advice. You've given a lot of great advice today. I'd love to ask you, before we hop into the spotlight story, everyone, it's going to be a great one. We're talking about we're going to learn some lessons today from restaurateurs or food industry experts, these entrepreneurs, and we're going to get his take on it. But first, what would you say the most challenging part has been, whether it's scaling or early stages, something to resonate with our audience, help them on their journey?
So, I mean, say again the question. What is
some of the harder parts you find of being an entrepreneur? What are some of the challenging areas? Yes.
the one that the hard for me, it was to really be by myself and don't have any support. You have to make the right decisions because you don't have nobody to fall off with. You don't have a support that you can make a mistake, you can screw it up, and hey, mom and dad sometimes are there, you know. And here is not. In real life, when you don't have nobody to support, you gotta think 3 times slower. Don't get excited. Don't get even too drunk because you make the wrong decisions. Don't try to take any drugs. Do a lot of exercise because it's the hard times that you have to do in life that are coming. When you are a new person, and you better have a physical condition to resolve it. You better have a control to yourself, to resolve the problems and be the most straightforward person that you can be.
That's a lot of great advice. And I have a feeling we're going to get some more great advice in just a few moments on this spotlight story. Miguel, I'm going to read some of this article to you. Then I'll bring you back on the show to talk about your takes on this. Again, it's lessons from 5 food industry entrepreneurs. It's from Food Business News. And the first one it talks about is be smart, but trust your gut. Founded in 2012, Birch Benders established a firm foothold in natural retailers with a range of pancake and waffle mixes featuring organic ingredients. As the brand began expanding into conventional grocery stores, Miss Ackerman, she said she and her husband were initially hesitant to present the popular variety. Quote, in presenting to conventional retailers, and this goes back to the Walmart example, we looked at the data and thought we should present classic and home style. There's no paleo in conventional, not when we started, but we had this gut feeling to lead with that. We made the right choice. And from that experience, she learned a critical piece of advice. Be smart enough to read the data and intuitive to know when to completely ignore it. I think that's great advice. And the next one I'm going to talk about is a time and place. Timing is everything, agreed Justin Gold, founder of Justin's Nut Butter brand. These are those pretzels with almond butter that you can dip in there. And he says, quote, we have to sometimes think ahead and understand what is the consumer doesn't know they need yet. What do they not know they need? Which is sometimes a great idea and sometimes a failure, but unless you put it out there, you're never going to know. Sometimes the universe is ready for your idea. Sometimes you're just a little too soon. And when Mr. Gold began his Boulder, Colorado business back in 2004, he said, quote, the world is ready to try new nuts and to see a different way and different packages and to do something a little different. Now, being different is something how you stuck out as well. You differentiated yourself, Miguel, to get all the way out here. What are some things that stuck out to you from some of these articles I shared?
I mean, those people and those persons, they already have a great idea that what they're pushing on it, and they are not getting dizzy. They are getting profound and pushing their products, their ideas to work, and they look one way. They make couple decisions. I mean, without hesitating too much. They think 3 or 4 times the way you said. They think the solutions in a different angles. That way, they don't make a mistake easier. Mm-hmm. And some people, if you're an entrepreneur, it's hard you can listen to new ideas. You have to be open to yourself to have a new ideas to try to put it out there.
I love that. And part of that is the confidence and not letting these down parts of entrepreneurship affect you. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs in entrepreneurship, but having the courage to put that out there, I think is a great point. Thank you, Miguel.
Don't ever quit.
That's it. And don't ever quit.
Don't quit. I mean, it's a lot of people that have some problems and they need to jump it, all those obstacles, because it's easy to quit. If you give up in your ideas, you really are not an entrepreneur.
And it's very easy to give up. Things are going to go wrong more often. They're going to go right. They're going to go wrong, or at least for me, went wrong again and again and again. You take a little piece from that experience and you do it again. But what a show, Miguel. I'm so glad I've got the chance to celebrate your new book release here with me. Before I let you go, which entrepreneur throughout history, dead or alive, are you choosing to sit down with for a conversation?
Oh my goodness. I forgot his last name is the guy's going to the space and all that.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. He is my hero.
I mean, he teaches you that the sky is literally the limit, not just as far as going to space, but I mean, now he's on Twitter. He was on SpaceX. He did Tesla. And of course, it reiterates what you said before, building a team around you. He's not doing all of this by himself. He's attracting the best talents in the world to work on his mission. But now, Miguel, where would this meeting be if you could choose a location too?
His place, whatever his place.
And I really like that response. And you get it from time to time, because having them in their comfort zone where they feel most comfortable would probably transition to you getting a whole
I
lot of
can
good
learn the
information.
most.
Absolutely, Miguel. Thanks so much again for taking the time to join That Entrepreneur Show. Where can we find you online, and where can we find that book?
Yeah, and Cheese Guy Success and Twitter. You can follow me in Instagram, sorry. Cheese Guy Success and Instagram, and the house of the cheese built.com is my website.
And your book will be on that website?
It is on the website.
All right. Well, from this time recording, we're going to get this pushed out in the next 2 weeks sometime before then. That way we can make sure you can use this to promote. So thanks so much for coming on. And everyone tuning in, thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode. I'm so grateful for having just true hardworking entrepreneurs have the courage to come share their stories. The show is at That Entrepreneur Show on all social, and I am at Vincent A. Lancy on all social media, as well as YouTube. Be sure to head to Vincent A. Lancy on YouTube to take a peek at the video from this show. And with that, we are signing off today. Miguel, thanks so much once again.
Thank you for having me in your show. I appreciate it.